The reason is that I have experience at all levels in business right here in North Platte. So I've been an employee. I've worked for many places in North Platte in my career. I've been an entrepreneur. Myself and some partners started the first internet provider called NetQuest back in 1995 in this area and grew it to a profitable business, which we sold to Hamilton Communications in 2000. So I've been a small business owner. And then, of course, I joined Great Plains Health approximately 22 years ago, and I've grown through the ranks there. So I know what it takes to run large businesses and what large businesses need in our community to be successful. And bringing business to our town is one of the primary things that we have to do in the near future to ensure our town survived, and I have the best experience to do it. The main functions of city government is simply to provide for the citizens the services that the citizens want, in essence. So in our case, that's police, fire, first responders for safety, which is very important in our community and very important right now. Also, we need clean water, we need sewers, we need trash, we need things like that, so the city needs to provide those sorts of things. The government also has to be able to collect taxes and pay people, so of course we needed to do that. And in general, the government needs to be responsible for laying the groundwork for development and prospering in our community. I think the city does a very good job in providing several of its services. Think about how much our library is growing and staying in tune with the times, adding new services, not just books and things like that. I do believe that the city should stay out of the business of competing with existing businesses. I've been very public about not wanting to have the city continue to pay for Iron Eagle Golf Course, and the main reason is that we have other golf courses in the town. The city should not be competing in open business like that. So that's where I stand.
Okay. Would that also extend to things as small as, say, the Cody Park concession stand?
I think the Cody Park concession stand is part of the experience of Cody Park, and I don't think it's probably detracting from existing businesses enough, as it's a very seasonal activity. It provides jobs for young people in the community by and large, and I don't see it as a detractor. You could make a similar argument about the rec center, but they both have different purposes. Their purpose isn't to compete against the existing businesses in the community. It's just to provide an experience in their locations. As I said, the city government and the mayor are responsible for setting the groundwork to allow business to operate within the community. That's everything from taxation to ordinances that allow businesses to operate around, certainly. But the primary role of the mayor should be to act as an ambassador to businesses that want to come to the community or anyone that wants to come to the community, period. And I think that the most important thing that the city council can do in conjunction with the mayor is, again, to set that groundwork to make it easy to do business in North Platte. And it's one of the things that our community has to do. It's one of the reasons that we get compared with Kearney all the time, is developers will tell us that it's easy to do business in Kearney and it's very difficult to do business in North Platte. And we have to fix that. Whether it's a reality or perception, we have to fix it either way. I absolutely support the Quality Growth Fund. As many of you know, it's not an additional tax, it's just a percentage of sales tax dedicated to a specific purpose in North Platte. And in general, the Quality Growth Fund is designed to support businesses in North Platte. I do think that it is possible we could have a little more rigor around what the funds are used for, and perhaps we can enact that as an ordinance or a guidance in the future. However, it's something that we have to have in North Platte. In my opinion, the best way to keep the property tax bill light is to use other sorts of revenue to supplement or decrease the property tax ask by the city every year. So that is, as you ask in the question, the best way to do that is to improve sales tax. And the best way to improve sales tax is to not raise the sales tax, but bring more business to town, have people spend more money in North Platte, and we will raise more sales tax, which will allow us to decrease our property tax ask, and that is what I intend to do as mayor.
We had a proposal in the last election to add a half-cent tax that would have been sales tax that would have been dedicated to infrastructure projects in particular. Since you mentioned that, it's best to leave the cent and a half alone. Does that mean that you would probably not favor proposing an infrastructure tax again?
I'm not against an infrastructure tax if it's tied to a plan that we're going to guarantee the infrastructure repairs are done on the time frame where they're planned, barring some sort of crazy incident such as a global pandemic. But without a plan, I'm not in favor of the tax. I have said since the beginning of my mayoral campaign that I want to build a community where our children and grandchildren want to live. A community where they can prosper, they can gain good jobs, they can have a good education, and that's the vision for the community. I believe that we need to direct our community towards building jobs and building businesses in the next 4 years, and if we don't direct it, we're putting ourselves in great jeopardy. So my vision is to do whatever it takes to build to build business in our community, because that will lead us to the best community we can have.